Welcome, everyone. Good evening. As we start tonight's Saginaw City Council meeting, we will be led in an invocation by Imam Safwan from the Saginaw Islamic Center. Imam?
Thank you, Mayor. Peace and blessings be with you all. It's an absolute pleasure to be here representing you all in prayer, and I ask that God bless all of you, your families, and your loved ones. So I will begin with the prayer. I'm not going to give any type of speech, even though I'd love to speak to all of you. In the name of God, the most compassionate, the merciful, we ask you, our dear Lord, by all of your beauty and all of your names, we ask you that you bless this gathering. We ask you that you restore within our hearts love for one another, tender regard for one another. We ask that you store within our hearts a deep love and a deep presence from you. We ask by all of your love and all of your mercy and all of your compassion for humankind that you restore within us the beauty of mutual consultation, that you make us people that love to be advised and love to advise one another. We ask you to give us a keen sense of right and wrong, a keen sense of harm and benefit, and a keen sense of individuality, that every person deeply matters and every person is truly unique and truly special by your creation. Oh God, we ask you that you allow us moments of conversation with one another that bring us closer and bring understanding and bring civility and humility. We ask you to elevate the level of our political conversations from satire and entertainment and mocking to true regard and resolve and perseverance, no matter how dark the night can be. Allow us to understand that the sun always rises. We ask you, dear God, and we send peace and blessings upon all the prophets you have sent to us to guide us and teach us the ways of divine love. In your name, Amen. Thank you all for having me. And now we will have the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic in which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. Thank you, Iman. You're welcome to stay or go as you feel necessary and appropriate. Okay, Madam Clerk, the roll call, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Councilmember Forbes.
Present.
Councilmember Bryant.
Present.
Councilmember Bench.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Moore.
Present.
Councilmember Scherzer.
Present.
Councilmember Millen.
Present.
Councilmember Balls is absent. Councilmember Ostash.
Present.
And Mayor Clark.
Here.
We have 8 members present, 1 absent.
Thank you. All right. For the audience, good evening. Because this is a public meeting, we ask that all members of the audience please remain quiet and refrain from speaking, interrupting, or otherwise disrupting the meeting. Also, this is a good time to remind everyone, perhaps especially those of us sitting up here, to please turn off or silence all electronic devices. Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Mayor. I do have one announcement tonight. I'd like to let you know that City Hall will be closed on Monday, September 2nd for the Labor Day holiday. And tonight, Mayor, we have a proclamation, and it is honoring the life and service of former Mayor Russell James Harvey.
And that will be read tonight by Councilmember Clint Bryant.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. City of Saginaw proclamation in memory of Russell James Harvey. Whereas on behalf of the Saginaw City Council, we honor the memory of former Mayor Russell James Harvey, whose rich and abundant life came to close after 97 years on July 20th, 2019. And whereas Jim, as he preferred to be called, was born in Iron Mountain, Michigan on the 4th of July, 1922. After graduating from the University of Michigan Law School in 1948, he began his career as an assistant city attorney in the city of Saginaw. He was elected to city council in 1955 and proudly served as the mayor of the city from 1957 to 1959. And whereas Jim was elected to the United States Congress 8th Congressional District in 1960 and served until 1973, when the late President Richard Nixon appointed him to U.S. District Court Judge for the Eastern District of Michigan. He served in that role for 18 years, presiding over cases in federal courthouses in Bay City, Flint, Detroit, and Port Huron. And whereas Judge Jim Harvey presided over many high-profile cases, including the sentencing of reputed mob boss Anthony Gallicone in 1979, during his first year on the bench, he ruled in favor of two 16-year-old girls who had been barred from playing in a state softball championship because they weren't 17. There was no age limit for boys. In 1977, he ruled in favor of inmates' rights and ordered that the local county jail develop a plan to provide regular physical exercise for inmates and visits with family members. And whereas during his career, Judge Harvey also served as vice chair of the National Conference of Trial Judges, as a member of the Board of Visitors of the University of Michigan Law School, and as a member of the Budget Committee and United States Judicial Conference. And whereas throughout his prolific 44 years of public service, Judge Harvey met and served under 10 different United States presidents. He retired in 1992, relocating to Naples, Florida, with his lovely wife of 67 years, June, who preceded him in death in 2016. And whereas Judge Harvey's career was marked with honor and distinction, he was a dedicated public servant and worked tirelessly on behalf of the city of Saginaw and the state of Michigan. The members of the Saginaw City Council express our sincere condolences to the family of the late Russell James Harvey and extend our sincere appreciation for his many contributions to our nation, state, and our community. Now therefore be it resolved, Floyd Clark, Mayor of the City of Saginaw, does hereby urge all citizens of Saginaw to recognize, honor, and celebrate the life and outstanding accomplishments and contributions of Russell James Harvey to the City of Saginaw. In witness whereof, the mayor has hereunto set his hand and caused the seal of the city of Saginaw to be affixed this 19th day of August in the year of our Lord 2019, signed by our Mayor Floyd Clark, councilpersons Brenda F. Moore, our Mayor Pro Tem, Michael D. Balls, Annie Bench, myself, Clint Bryant, Jamie Forbes, John Milne, Bill Ostash, Autumn L. Scherzer, and it is also signed by our city manager, Timothy Morales.
Thank you. This will be presented to the family.
Here we are now at public input.
All right, and tonight, before we have any public input, I want to remind everyone that we thank you for sharing with us your thoughts and input. Hearing from the citizens we represent is very important to us. We ask that you speak slowly and clearly so we don't miss what you have to say. When called to the podium, please introduce yourself and state your home address. Let us know if you will be speaking solely for yourself or on behalf of a group. All speakers will have a 3-minute limit, which will be timed by the clerk, so be sure to cover your main points first. We ask that your presentation be courteous and respectful to the members of the public present, to the citizens watching SGTV, and to the council so we can give serious consideration to your concerns. All follow-ups will be referred to city staff. Thank you. Madam Clerk, the
Thank you,
first one.
Mayor. I'd like the council to be aware of the photos that are placed at your seat is by the first speaker, which is Howard Thomas.
Mr. Thomas. Bill?
Good evening. My name is Howard Thomas. My address is 636 South Warren Avenue. I have some pictures that I had printed out. They told me to print 13 for each council member. My concern is this abandoned house that's right behind my home at 813 Cherry Street. I've been complaining, registering complaints with the city since 2014 about this house. It's been abandoned longer than that, but I started complaining in 2013. I started keeping notes in 2014. At the time, Tim Morales was city manager. I used to speak with a lady by the name of Vicky when I would call the office all the time. I told you I keep notes. Back then, every other week I would call something about this home I was told that it was made the demolition list. That's what I was told back in December 2014. She said, Howard, your hard work is paid off. It made the demolition list. She said, call back in March of 2015 when the weather breaks. It has to go, demo companies have to bid, see who's going to take it to knock it down. I called back in like March 2015. She said, it's no longer here at the city, it's over at the land bank. I contacted someone named Elena over at the land bank. They told me the house was sold. That was in 2015. But the pictures that you have in front of you, number one would be this picture here. This is, I believe, the current owner that owns the house now. I was told that a guy named Matthew and Tina own the home now. I was told that it's not registered. So if the house is not registered, how could you move in? As you can see, they're moving a piano in. Before I snapped this photo, they had moved some couches, beds, things like that in. Photo number two will be this photo here. This is the back of the house. The house is crumbling, deteriorating. This is the foundation of the home. And this is what it looks like. This is the back of the home. Again, I've been complaining since 2013. Photo number three, kind of the same thing. A lot of bricks, debris that's in the back of the home. I'm trying to move pretty fast because I know I got 3 minutes. Photo number four, you'll see a young lady in the picture. This was back in the end of June, beginning of July. This is me and my wife. Well, the picture, my wife is in the photo. I took the photo. We cleaned the back of that residence up. And so that's a photo of my wife there.
We understand the rest of these have to do with the house. This will be referred to
Correct.
staff for further follow-up, sir.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Nathan Collison.
Mr. Collison, welcome.
Good evening. My name is Nathan Collison, 2305 Adams Boulevard. I'm here to talk about medical and recreational marijuana facilities. It's my understanding that this body intends to opt out of both medical and recreational facility licensing programs. I urge you to reconsider. Now, I'm not here to lecture anybody, but I'm sure that I don't need to remind you that this community has previously voted to allow the possession and use of cannabis in one form or another 3 separate times. This goes back over 10 years ago when we voted to legalize medical marijuana. I am a former prosecutor. In fact, I served as the drug court prosecutor for this county for over 2 years. Now I'm a small business person who maintains a solo private law practice. Among other areas, I practice in the area of marijuana or cannabis laws. I represent industry participants all over the state, but I regularly get calls from residents and business owners in our city who own real estate, are well-financed, and have extensive business experience. In fact, some of these individuals have established successful business track records that exceed people and companies currently operating marijuana facilities in other areas. These people ask me the same question. If Saginaw is redevelopment ready, then why doesn't my city allow me to put my property, skills, and money to use in order to move our economy forward? They want to create jobs and improve neighborhoods. They see business opportunity in an emerging market poised for growth. They want our city to be a leader in this industry and not follow in the footsteps of others. I am here today to give a voice to those people. As such, I urge you to expend every resource available to develop and implement the necessary framework for medical and recreational marijuana facility application, licensing, and compliance that first and foremost serves the residents, landowners, and business people of the city of Saginaw. A framework that encourages fairness and opportunity, focuses on developing and retaining local talent, and fosters new business opportunities. Recently, the state of Michigan named our city as one of 19 Michigan communities disproportionately impacted by marijuana's criminal past that are eligible to participate in a social equity program through the state marijuana regulatory agency. Our residents could receive up to a 60% discount on licensing fees. This could be tens of thousands of dollars in savings. The state will also provide educational sessions, one-on-one help with applications, and resources to better understand regulatory requirements. Saginaw was chosen because unfortunately more than 30% of our population has income below the federal property level, and we are in a county with above average rates of marijuana convictions. This is an opportunity to create something positive and productive out of the unfortunate economic and legal circumstances that so many of our citizens face. Several weeks ago, I emailed you all a draft copy of a marijuana dispensary ordinance that I wrote. That email was an attempt on my part to help contribute to a solution instead of complaining about a problem. Today, I again offer my assistance both as a city resident and an attorney to solve this problem. Our city and its residents are diverse, talented, innovative, and passionate. And together, we have the resources to develop a situation that fits Saginaw. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Our final speaker tonight is Salim Manan.
Mr. Manan, welcome.
Honorable Mayor, City Manager, and council members, I want to thank you for this opportunity to speak. My name is Salim Manan, and I'm here representing myself. I live at 15 Milton Street, Saginaw, Michigan, and I've been here since 1970. I'm here today to continue to have the conversation with you about legalizing or the selling or having business of marijuana in our community. We have a great responsibility. In my opinion, this is probably one of the most important questions that we're going to face as a city, whether we're going to let this happen or not. It's very important. I know that there's a lot of negativity about Saginaw, but when I explore its history, this is a wonderful and great city. If you just looked over the history, if you just looked, if you studied, if you listened to Thomas Mudd, if you listened to the great Thomas McDonald, if you listened to those guys who had enthusiasm for the city and the history, you would know that Saginaw is on a great trajectory. I just want to quote one person. Her name is Alice Freeman Palmer. Some of you might know her, but she was a great woman in the history of Saginaw. She died at the age of 47. She was born in 1855, I think it was. She became the president of Wesley College, and she was from here, and started a library from 1881 to 1887. She promoted equality of men and women in schools. These ideas were revolution for her times. She worked in the Boston slums, and she taught the kids, this is what she said, memorize something every day because you may become blind. She also said, every day you go out and find something beautiful to look at. Now, this is what I do when I leave home. And she also said, every day you go out, I would like for you to find something to do good for people. There's too many people in this history that stood by this, in this city, to do something good for the people. Now, this woman went on to become the professor of a prominent woman college, and she pushed for women's rights coming right from Saginaw, Michigan. I just wanted to share those things. Also in our history, Alex de Tocqueville came here, the great writer. He wrote about Saginaw. He saw some importance. We may not think it's important, but this is a magnificent city. The benefits that derive from this city. What did he say? America is great because she is good. If America ceased to be good, America will cease to be great. Liberty cannot be established without morality, nor morality without faith. When the past no longer illuminates the future, the spirit walks in darkness. I say to the leadership of the city, go to the library, pick up those tapes of Thomas Mudd and of the great leader, McDonald, and listen to those tapes about our history. You will come out with a better and a best picture and view of our city if you did that. Thank you for your time, and may God bless our efforts.
Mayor, we are now at council remarks.
All right, and today we have, I want to remind everyone, first of all, the 3-minute limit. And today we start with Councilmember Bryant.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our meeting. Thank you to our public speakers. It's always good to hear from residents of the city and issues that they're concerned about, and those that need to be followed up with the manager staff. I'm sure that he will do that. We've had a really exciting couple weeks in the city, lots of good events, seen some really exciting stuff happen, especially at the African Cultural Fest. We got to see Councilwoman Scherzer and her sorority out there stepping, so it was good. But there's been a lot of good stuff, from Friday Night Live to the Old Town Art Fair, who had a resurgence over a little brief hiatus, but they're back in their second year, and phenomenal job. I think Ms. Collison did a great job. I stopped over on Friday, and it was packed down there. I was really, really surprised. It was a great turnout. This past weekend, I had the opportunity to attend. It was the first annual, and they're going to keep it going. But remember this name, Byron Poindexter. and their family, they put on a small business and fashion show. It was pretty cool. I've never seen anything like that, but it's something different that they wanted to bring to the community, and they had about 300 folks there, so it was really successful. Had the chance to say some remarks for that, so it was good. I also want to pass along my kudos to Lieutenant Pettinger. I know that she was involved in an incident this past week, and hopefully she's back and on the mend. But aside from that, I just want to let everybody know if they want to join me Thursday, I'm going to have a community conversation at the Splash Park Pavilion from 5:30 to 7:30. We'll be talking about some of the things that we've been talking about here at Council, Michigan's lead and copper rule, rubbish rates, as well as fees that are going to be going up associated with that lead and copper rule. So hopefully you can stop out. We're going to have some hot dogs and some Old Town sauce. Other than that, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Councilmember Forbes.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you to our speakers tonight. Although we are not quite coming up to the next major election, time flies, and I wanted to talk a little bit about what we need to do to get ready for that. With it being a presidential year and the implementation of Prop 3, we need to get ready for more voters in 2020 than perhaps ever before, hopefully ever before. I'd like to thank those that have worked the polls in the past, but if you haven't ever donated your time before, well, and gotten paid for it, I ask that you please consider stepping up in 2020. We really need your help to make sure that Election Day goes smoothly. You can even work a half day if you don't want to work a whole day. And if you'd like more information, contact any of us, I'm sure. We could connect you with the clerk's office as well. That's 399-1311. Mr. Cullison, thank you for coming tonight and pointing out so many important factors about the recreational marijuana debate. I appreciate your generous offer to help too. At the last meeting, Mayor Clark requested that the city manager begin researching and drafting ordinances or amendments to ordinances that would be necessary if a council elects to allow recreational marijuana in the city in the future, and to consider establishing an administrative committee with 1 or 2 council members participating with staff, and to provide us with periodic updates, and I'm sure he will do that. I think this is an important step for us, and I'm certainly committed to learning more, and I'm sure that that my fellow council people are too. And so I'm really hoping that we'll hear a lot more about this issue in the future. So thank you for coming. That's all.
Thank you. Councilmember Oshtash.
Good evening. Okay, so thank you for all of our speakers that came in tonight. As I always say, it's you take the time to come out and talk to us, and we do listen. A couple of things I just want to mention is Councilwoman Forbes was just talking about the elections that are coming up and some of the changes that are coming next year, and that will be even in the absentee voting ballot initiative. So there'll be forms and stuff that you should start hearing about in the community where you can fill it out and then bring it to the clerk's office. There's going to be some training on that where your absentee ballot would come to you at every election cycle. So that's some changes that are coming. Another thing I'd like to mention too is I've heard that there's some census jobs that are available. So people that are working on the 2020 census, our managers talked about some things that we're doing here. So you can actually visit their website, and there are some positions there. I know some friends of mine who have recently got jobs working for the census. So that's something I wanted to mention too. And also I did attend the African Cultural Festival as well. It was a great day. Had a lot of fun there and got to talk to some interesting people. And one of the folks I was talking there was at Delta College was there, and I visited their booth. And it was exciting to hear that our downtown campus is doing really well for fall. It sounds like the classes are nearly full, so that's hats off to the group there, and that was exciting to hear because the Delta College downtown campus is a great venue for everybody that wants to just even hop a bus and go to school. So thank you for that. Also attended the Old Town Art Fair, of course. Lauren Carlson, she did a great job. I was quite surprised when I got down there that day how many tents and vendors that there actually was. So spent a good part of my afternoon down there, and it was good to see everybody out. So hats off to that group, and looking forward to seeing that happen again next year. Also, two positive results. Downtown Saginaw did a great job this year. It was Friday Night Live. City Council was down there a few times. You can come down and talk to us, and we could do some one-on-ones. And of course, they ended the season with their Motown Night, which was just an incredible event, huge crowd, so that was good to see in our downtown as well. So also to Councilman Clint has talking about the lead and copper rules. I've also been kind of crunching some numbers in the background after our presentations from our last city council meeting. So please, if you've got questions, reach out to us. We can get you to the right resources. If you need to get a hold of us, my Facebook page is always available. Send me a message and we can take from there. So thanks, and that's all I have.
All set. Councilmember Bowles.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to thank everybody that come here with your comments, pro and con on the marijuana. It's a situation for the city of Saginaw, and we're going to get through this. Mr. Thomas, these pictures are deplorable to know that somebody can allow this to, I don't know if the county or city involved in this, but we need to make sure this is taken care of. That house shouldn't be like that. I know you guys are really taking care of those houses in that neighborhood there, and I know you don't like seeing this. And hopefully something we're getting done soon. It's not right. I mean, I didn't know you had to have a license to put a roof on your house, and I put a roof on my house, and the inspector came by and saw me putting a roof on this. I know I got slapped with a ticket. They had to pay it in. And then we got people like this who do stuff just in the city. That's just not right. So you get fined if you're doing improvement, but then you don't get fined, you don't do nothing. So I'm sure this is going to be taken care of. I think you came in the right place to get it taken care of. I too had the opportunity to attend the African American Festival one day. I had my credit union to donate a couple of bikes, the same ones we gave away to the city, and that went real well. We had 90 people sign up for the bikes, and 2 young girls wanted the bikes, so that was really nice for the African American Festival. It's a beautiful occasion. This summer has really been great for the city of Saginaw as far as festivals and entertainment is concerned. And if anybody say they don't have anything to do, I'm going to steal a line from the mayor that they need to find out what's going on in the city of Saginaw, because a lot is going on, a lot of good things. I haven't told you guys lately, but the Big Brothers and Sisters program is always looking for bigs. We have a lot of youth out here in the community who don't have a parent at home, and it don't take a lot. It's all about spending time with a kid. And you'd be surprised on how they will grow after being involved, with an adult. I had opportunity a couple of weeks ago to give my little brother a used tube box with or a large assortment of tubes in it, and you wouldn't believe how happy he is just to get those tubes. I happened to pick him up at a Roma sale, and I'm sure he has over $100 worth of tubes in his box now, so he's going to be the fix-it man in his neighborhood. So it's going to be a beautiful time because whenever you can teach one child how to do something, then it goes on to the next one and the next one and another generation. Before you know it, we got some guys fixing some things for themselves. So we're always looking for bigs and Big Brothers and Sisters program, men and women from all walks of life. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Milne.
Thank you, Mayor Clark. I wanted to thank all the public input speakers this evening. They keep us on our toes, and as the mayor said, the complaints get passed along to staff to work on. I also attended one of the evenings over at the African American Festival, talked with one of the organizing committee, and they were a little surprised this year because last year was the 50th anniversary and that was huge crowds. They thought it would fall off some this year. They said it was at least as busy, and the vendors were selling out of food.
Right.
So they have got a great thing going over there. It is something you shouldn't miss. Also wanted to mention the incident we had with the fire department during a structure fire. And I just wanted to point out how that illustrates how their training and the multi-agency coordination that our department has. When they called a Mayday situation, everyone focuses on getting the personnel out of the building, and we automatically get mutual aid from other departments. So it takes a dangerous situation. It turned into a minor injury to our personnel, but it's a scary thing. Most of us have never been in anything approaching being caught in a burning building. So a good outcome to it, but it will generate additional training for the departments, because when you have an incident, you can look at it. What did we do right? What did we maybe not do 100% right, and correct it? So it's going to be, on the whole, it'll end up being a plus, I think. So kudos to the fire department and their neighboring agencies who helped on that. That's really all I have this evening.
Thank you, Councilmember Scherzer.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Kind of gets harder when you get towards the end of the line, but.
Wait till you get to me.
So can mirror everything that my fellow council members have said. Not only did Councilmember Clint Bryant attend the gala from Women of Men and Vision, but he was one of the honorees. So just want to publicly give a congratulations to you from, I think it's the From Vision to Reality honoree? Is that correct? Okay. So congratulations to you. Light Up the City wrap-up is this week, and City Council will be at the island. We will have a table and representing the city, so please feel free to stop by, say hi, shake our hand, complain, bring us the good and the bad, it doesn't matter. And then lastly, quick and easy today, I just want to wish everyone a fun and safe Labor Day, because we won't be back until after the holiday, so have fun, but be safe. That's all I have.
It's hard to believe.
Can you believe it?
No, hardly. Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Moore.
Good evening. We're doing it all over again. Thank all of the public speakers for their input. Trust me, we are hearing you loud and clear. It may not seem like it all the time, but we actually do hear you. I'm gonna echo my fellow council people. For the last 3 weeks, I've had my fellow colleagues out to the Friday Night Live. I want to publicly thank them for all of their hard work and their effort that they did. Now, got another favor. Ms. Scherzer started it. Wednesday is the last night, another public appearance. I need support from the table. We're noticing that community people the citizens are really excited about seeing us, which is good. You get to know us. Everybody knows Brenda, so I want them to know everybody else up here. So we are still working on a project where we want to get a color picture of all of us, and we want the kids to be able to color it. So I don't know, I'm hoping that we can get that real soon, so that our kids at show of face, they actually know who we are. So if we're out in the grocery store, they'll see that we everyday people and we do stuff. Also remember, the 31st, Morley Plaza is going to be book bag giveaway. Council people, I asked you to give me some donations, school supplies. At that program, we're working with Power 107, the radio station, Saginaw County Commissioners, along with Saginaw City Council and some other community leaders. We're giving away book bags, 250 book bags. We're giving away undergarments, socks. We'll have a romper. We're gonna make a big day of it. If you don't know how to double dutch, come on down. I'm gonna be double dutching that day. And it's from 12 to 5, and we'll be at Morley Plaza. We're excited. We're going to make this an annual event. We're going to bring Family Affair back. And eventually, maybe we can get back to the island. But for now, we're going to start small and work our way up. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Bench.
Thank you, and good evening to everyone. I too would thank our public speakers for being here, and along with my colleagues, I was able to attend many of the events that they mentioned. From Friday Night Live to the Art Festival and the African Cultural Festival, and I would have to agree with them all that everything that was going on over the last couple of weeks in Saginaw and all the things that we have upcoming are just wonderful. And like they've said, if you think there's nothing to do, it's because you're not paying attention. So it's very exciting to see everything going on as we wrap our summer up. Mr. Thomas, I looked up the property that you were referencing on Cherry, and it is privately owned. It is a property that has been visited many times by code enforcement, so I have no doubt that they will continue to make their best effort to get the property owner to address the issues. The pictures are bad, and I don't blame you for not wanting that abutting your property there. And we appreciate you coming to us about it. Mr. Collison, it is nice to see you. I don't disagree with anything that you were saying as far as the positive benefits that recreational marijuana, medical marijuana would have for our community. I don't view my support of opting out tonight as a decision that needs to be rethought. I view it as us taking the time to do our due diligence and make sure that we have an ordinance that makes sense for the city of Saginaw. I really do appreciate, you know, the effort that you've made and the help that you've offered, because it's beneficial, and it's certainly a welcome perspective, you know, to have someone with your expertise come to us. But I personally think that, you know, taking the time to make sure that we know what we're doing, know what the permanent rules are, and just, you know, moving forward cautiously is the way to go. I know it's not as quick as a lot of, you know, citizens might like, and I know that it's not as quick as some of our colleagues might like, but I rather do it right than do it now. So, yeah, that's just where I stand, but I'd love to be, you know, have a conversation with you outside of the meeting sometime. And that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. There's a lot of things that I had listed, but I'm not going to bother covering because they've already been covered. But I do have two things. Council, remember last meeting, we passed a resolution regarding adequate funding for the schools in the state and our school children. We've received two letters in response. One was from the AFT of Michigan saying, addressed to myself, thank you so much for your leadership in the issue of school funding. The resolution supported by you and the full city council is a strong statement of what our children need and deserve. It is important to realize that when we take stands, it can be beneficial. We also received a letter, and by the way, that was signed by David Hecker, president of the AFT of Michigan. We received a letter from Peter Spatafor, the Associate Executive Director for Advocacy and Communications, the Michigan Association of Superintendents and Administrators, saying, Dear Mayor Clark, on behalf of the Michigan Association of Superintendents and Administrators, I would like to express our gratitude for your resolution. We are very appreciative that the City of Saginaw recognizes the importance of an adequate school funding formula that addresses the needs of all students. Thank you for your continued dedication to public education. I do think that we have always felt it important as a city to support our schools, and it is an issue in our city of inadequate funding that our resolution certainly addressed, and I think we will continue, and I urge all council members to continue to support adequate funding for our schools. Schools are important, and students coming to our schools are very important to the future economic development of Saginaw. So having the Saginaw School District grow and develop and become a first-class school district is important to all of us. So please do continue that support, and that is all I have. Madam Clerk?
Thank you, Mayor. We are now at the reports from the manager.
Thank you. First, a reminder, tomorrow is the Neighborhood Association Action Group meeting. It's at noon in council chambers, and there are a lot of topics that would be of interest, I think, to citizens. Lead and copper rules review, I think similar to what we had at council. A presentation about the Saginaw Career Complex, Michigan Rehabilitation Services, and the no reason absentee voting presented by the city clerk. So if you know anybody who's interested in those topics, pass that along. Last meeting, I mentioned the 2020 census and the complete count committee. I did meet with the Community Foundation. Mayor Pro Tem Moore mentioned that group. I think that is very similar to what the complete count committee would do, and the Community Foundation stated that the Mayor Pro Tem invited to be part of that group, so I did send that information to our census contact. So hopefully that will work in the same manner. Delta College Downtown Center is having a community onboarding event at the Downtown Center on September 10th from 1 to 4. So that's a great opportunity. If you know some young people are interested in learning about how to get started with college, they can go to that and even complete some of the steps needed to begin taking classes on the spot there. So I think that's a good opportunity to not only get a head start if you were going to a 4-year college, but also if you're interested in trades. two items related to work we've done here in the city. The first one is, you're all aware of the This is Saginaw We Build Opportunity video that we produced and demoed at the Redevelopment Ready Communities event. Well, we are making those available in that marketing campaign available to outside groups, and we were contacted by CMU Medical Education Partners, and they would like to use the video for recruiting future physicians, residents, and medical students. So that's pretty neat that that's been recognized. You might recall that the CMU Medical Simulation Center is featured in the video. So they did see it and are using it now. And the second one, Michigan Department of Treasury has an emphasis on local government connections a little bit more. They've started doing that this year. I met with them a while ago, and they're having a Michigan Treasury 2019 Local Government Summit. One of the things I talked to them about is blight elimination, relationship to crime reduction. As you recall, we did that study after one of our federal grants, and they liked that program, and they invited SVSU to present their data analysis at that local summit. So I'll be attending that in Lansing later this year, so it should be a good opportunity to feature Saginaw and some of the work we've been doing here. And that concludes management update.
Thank you. Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Mayor. We are now at the consent agenda.
Okay, the consent agenda has been available to the members of the council since Thursday. At this time, are there any exceptions to be noted for the clerk? Any exceptions to be noted? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda? So moved.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? It's carried. Next,
Here we are now at the board and commission committee reports.
are there any reports of any city boards or commissions? Yes, Councilman Milne.
Last Thursday, we had an airport commission meeting, and they are continuing with some change orders on their runway repaving. That's a federal grant money that will come in. And I toured the airport facilities for fire and operations and got to see one of their new snow plows. These are just a little over $1 million a snow plow. They're 70 feet long and 24 feet wide, and 2 passes of 2 plows can clear an entire runway. So it's something that they hope they don't need to use a lot, but when they do, it is quite a piece of equipment. In fact, when we purchased it, the manufacturer asked, and we were allowed at the airport, they exhibited it at an airport equipment conference in Buffalo, New York. Buffalo, New York gets about 200 and some inches of snow a year, so they're very interested in snow equipment there. And that's the report from the airport commission.
Are there any other boards or commission reports? Any others? All right, hearing none. Madam Clerk.
Mayor, we are at appointment of board and commission members.
Are there any exceptions for either items 1 or 2 to be noted by the clerk? Councilmember Forbes?
I'd like an exception for one, please.
All right. Any other exceptions? We're down to 1. Well, can we have a vote, a motion on number 2?
So moved. Support?
It's been moved and supported. Is there any discussion on appointment regarding appointment number 2? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Opposed?
I'd like to abstain.
Okay, on item number 1? Okay. Is there a motion someone would make on item number 1?
So moved.
Support.
Moved and supported. All in favor, or any discussion first? All in favor of appointment number 1?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, as far as number 3, I would ask that.
Yes.
We need a roll call.
Oh,
Sorry,
I'm sorry, that's
I had it
right.
flipped around, I apologize.
That's right. Okay, we need a roll call because of the
The abstention.
abstention.
Correct. Councilmember Bench.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Moore.
Yes.
Councilmember Scherzer.
Yes.
Councilmember Millen.
Yes.
Councilmember Balls.
Yes.
Councilmember Ostash.
Yes.
Councilmember Forbes.
Abstain.
Councilmember Bryant.
Yes.
Mayor Clark.
Yes.
We have 8 yes votes and 1 abstention.
Thank you for catching that to our city attorney and city clerk. Okay. The next item is not a appointment by the council, but it's simply appointment by the mayor, and I'd ask that there be acknowledgement of the appointment put on the record. The term appointment is for Lisa Coney to the Saginaw Housing Commission with the term to expire September 30th, 2022.
And Mayor, that takes us to ordinances for consideration and adoption.
And
Our first one is to add Chapter 118, Prohibition of Marijuana Establishments and Facilities of Title 11 Business Regulations.
is there a motion to adopt?
Move to adopt.
Is there a second?
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Is there any discussion on ordinance number 1? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
Mayor Pro Tem Moore.
Yes.
Councilmember Scherzer.
No.
Councilmember Millen.
Yay.
Councilmember Balls.
Yes.
Councilmember Ostache.
No.
Councilmember Forbes.
Yes.
Councilmember Bryant.
No.
Councilmember Bench.
Yes.
And Mayor Clark.
Yes.
We have 6 yes and 3 noes. Motion is approved.
Okay. Next
Our
item?
Next ordinance is to amend sections 151.001 through 151.117 of Chapter 151 Property Maintenance Regulations of Title 15 Land Usage.
Is there a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried. Next.
Great, we are at miscellaneous business.
Is there any other business that any council member has to bring before the council? Any other business? Hearing none, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Support.
Moved and supported, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? It's carried.